The screech of tires on asphalt was the last sound I heard before the world flipped upside down. My heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape the cage of my chest. Jake's voice crackled over the radio. "Alex, hold on." But it was too late. His bumper kissed mine with brutal force, sending my car spinning into the wall like a discarded toy. As the smoke cleared and the medics swarmed, he yanked open my door, his face pale as death, whispering, "I didn't mean to. God, I love you." And in that shattered moment, everything I thought I knew about my straight-laced best friend and racing partner evaporated like exhaust fumes. I remember the smell of scorched rubber and spilled adrenaline hitting me first, even before the pain clawed its way up my spine. Charlotte Motor Speedway, that beast of a track in North Carolina, had been our playground for years. Me, Alex Rivera, the scrappy spotter with a headset glued to my ear and dreams bigger than the grandstands. Him, Jake Harlan, the golden boy driver whose name lit up billboards from Daytona to Talladega. We'd grown up in the same dusty trailer park on the outskirts of Concord, back when our biggest race was pedaling bikes down cracked sidewalks, dodging potholes like they were apex turns. By 18, we'd clawed our way into the minor leagues of stock car racing. Him behind the wheel, me in the booth, feeding him lines like a lifeline. "Clear low, buddy. You've got this." That afternoon in late summer, the air hung thick with Georgia humidity that had followed us north, the kind that sticks to your skin like regret. Practice laps were supposed to be routine: shake down the new setup on the 47 Chevy, tweak the aero for the upcoming Coca-Cola 600. But Jake had been off all week, his radio chatter clipped, his lines through the corners sloppy. "What's eating you, man?" I'd asked during a pit stop, wiping sweat from my brow under the Carolina sun. He shrugged, that trademark Harlan grin flashing like a warning light. Cocky, effortless, the kind that made fans swoon and sponsors sign checks. "Just the pressure, Alex. Dad's breathing down my neck about the playoffs." His old man, Big Harlan, was a legend in these parts. A two-time Cup Series champ who'd traded his fire suit for a bottle of Jack after a wreck took his left leg. Expectations were heavier than a full fuel load. I let it slide like always. Jake and I were tight brothers in grease and glory. Or so I thought. I'd buried my feelings for him deep, under layers of denial and duty. Ever since that night at 16 when we'd crashed on his couch after sneaking beers from his dad's cooler. His arms slung over my shoulder, breath warm against my neck, mumbling about how we'd conquer the world together. I'd frozen, pulse thundering, wanting to turn and taste the forbidden. But he was straight as a straightaway, dated cheerleaders and bartenders, the all-American poster boy. Me? I was the quiet queer kid from the wrong side of the tracks, out to my mom at 14 after she found my hidden copy of Brokeback Mountain under the mattress. She hugged me tight, said, "Love who you love, Mijo. Just don't let it wreck you." Irony, right? We rolled into turn 3 that lap like thunder, the V8 roaring under my feet as I gripped the spotter's wheel in the simulator booth. No, wait, that practice was real. I was in the chase car that day, trailing him for data, my own beat-up 88 trailing like a shadow. "Tighten it up, Jake." I barked into the mic, eyes glued to the monitors. "You're loose off 4. He pushed harder, the nose diving in, and then bam. His rear bumper hooked my front fender, a rookie mistake from a vet like him. Metal screamed, glass shattered, and my world inverted in a blur of gray barriers and red clay dust. When the stars stopped dancing, I kicked open the door, coughing through the haze. My shoulder throbbed, ribs bruised, but nothing broken. Miracle of modern cages. Jake was there before the safety crew, hauling me out like I weighed nothing, his gloves smeared with my blood from a gash on my forehead. Up close, his blue eyes, usually sharp as switchback corners, were wild, fractured. "Alex, shit, I'm sorry," he gasped, voice breaking like I'd never heard. And then, as the track marshal's lights flashed behind us, he crushed me against his chest, helmet clunking mine, and those words tumbled out. "I love you. I can't pretend anymore." The medics pried us apart, but his confession hung in the air like smoke signals. Love? From Jake Harlan? The guy who'd high-fived me after breaking up with his latest girlfriend, Taylor, A blonde firecracker from the pits? My brain short-circuited, replaying every bro hug, every late-night strategy session in motel rooms where I'd stolen glances at the curve of his neck, the way his laugh lines crinkled. Was this the crash talking? Concussion delusion? Or had I missed the flares all along? They hauled us to the infield medical center, a sterile trailer buzzing with fluorescent hate for the heat. Doc Ramirez patched me up, stitches, ice packs, a clean bill short of an MRI. Jake paced like a caged wolf, helmet tossed in the corner, his fire suit unzipped to the waist, revealing the sweat-slicked V of his chest. "Talk to me, Alex," he pleaded when the door clicked shut. "Yell, hit me something. I fucked up out there on purpose. I couldn't focus with you right there, so close. On purpose." The word tasted like battery acid. Betrayal stung sharper than the needle. We'd risked everything for this shot. Sponsorships drying up, Big Harlan's shadow looming. "What the hell, Jake? You could have killed us." He dropped to his knees, hands fisting my sheets, face crumpling. "I know. God, I know. It's been eating me alive. Every time you spot me through a corner, your voice in my ear is like fire in my veins. I've dated girls to prove I'm normal, but it's you. Always you." His voice cracked, raw as an open throttle. I stared, the room spinning slower now, pieces slotting into place. The lingering touches during tire changes, the way he'd linger after races, beers in hand, eyes tracing my lips when he thought I wasn't looking. I reached out, tentative, fingers brushing his jaw, stubble rough under my pads, warm skin yielding. "Jake, I'm gay. Have been forever. And yeah, I've wanted you too. But you're straight. Or I thought. I'm not," he whispered, leaning into my touch like a man starved. "Bye, maybe." Panicked. Dad's old school. The team's all about the image. Taylor was cover. But losing you? That's the real wreck. We kissed then, hesitant at first, salt and sweat mingling. His lips soft despite the calluses from steering wheels. It was electric, forbidden, the kind of spark that ignites dynasties or destroys them. But as his hands framed my face, tender and sure, the trailer door banged open. Big Harlan, face thunderous, crew chief trailing like a storm cloud. "What in God's name happened out there?" the old man bellowed, eyes narrowing on our proximity. Jake sprang back, mask slamming down, but the damage was done. The secret revved to life, and I knew. This wasn't just a crash. It was the start of the race that could end us both. The fallout hit like a multi-car pileup at restrictor plate speeds. By evening, the garage was a war zone of whispers and wrenches. Mechanics side eyeing us over toolboxes, Taylor storming in with mascara-streaked fury, demanding answers Jake couldn't give. "You son of a bitch," she hissed, slapping his cheek hard enough to echo off the haulers. Was it me? Or him all along? She jabbed a finger at me, perched on a milk crate nursing my sling, and I felt the weight of every unspoken glance we'd shared over the years crash down. Jake's face flushed crimson, but he didn't deny it. "Taylor, it's not. It's complicated." She laughed, bitter as burnt fuel, and hurled her engagement ring. "Wait, engagement?" at his feet. It skittered across the concrete like a spent casing. Engagement? My stomach dropped. He'd proposed last month, during a rain delay at Bristol, right in front of the team. I'd clapped along, throat tight, toasting their future while mine idled in neutral. Big Harlan dragged Jake into the hauler for a talk, the door slamming like a guillotine. I sat there, sling itching, replaying the kiss, the hesitant press of mouths, the way his breath hitched when my tongue traced his lower lip. Romantic? Hell yes, in that stolen heartbeat way. But humanistic? It exposed the cracks in our armored world, where men loved hard but hit harder, especially under the glare of Southern spotlights and sponsorship scrutiny. Hours later, Jake emerged, hollow-eyed, Big Harlan's ultimatum echoing in his slumped shoulders. He says choose, the team or this. He waved vaguely between us, voice a gravel whisper. Says it'll tank everything. Homophobia's alive and well in stock car country. Alex. Fans boo rainbow stickers, Crews mutter slurs in the shadows. I stood, wincing, and pulled him into the empty telemetry room, door locked against prying eyes. Charts glowed on screens, lap times, downforce data, but they blurred as I cupped his face. Then we fight, quietly. No announcements, no drama. Just us, building what we can. His eyes searched mine, stormy seas finding harbor, and he nodded, crashing his forehead to mine. You're my spotter, my anchor. I can't lose that. We stole moments in the weeks that followed, threading romance through the chaos like sewing a parachute. Late nights in the shop, him under the car tweaking suspensions while I calibrated the scanner, our fingers brushing over carburetors. A brush of knuckles here, a stolen kiss behind tool racks there. Electric, urgent, laced with the fear of discovery. One evening, after a test session at Rockingham, we drove out to Lake Norman in his old F-150, the one with the bench seat worn smooth from childhood joyrides. Fireflies danced over the water like confetti, the air cooling to that perfect southern twilight hum. We talked, really talked, for the first time without engines drowning us out. Remember that summer we built the go-kart from scrap? I said, feet dangling off the dock, his head on my thigh as stars pricked the sky. He chuckled, low and warm. Yeah, you welded the frame crooked. Nearly killed us on the first run. His hand traced lazy circles on my knee, innocent yet igniting. But you fixed it. Always do. I threaded fingers through his hair, sun-bleached strands soft as cornsilk. I love you, Jake. Not the driver, the myth. You. The guy who cries at Forrest Gump reruns, who sneaks tacos at 2 a.m. He tilted up, vulnerability cracking his grin. Love you too, spotter. You're the only one who sees the wrecks before they happen. We kissed slow, under the moon's benevolent gaze, hands mapping familiar terrain with new reverence. No rush, no heat, just connection, souls aligning like perfect chem timing. But conflict brewed, dark as thunderheads over the Appalachians. Taylor didn't fade quietly. She leaked whispers to the paddock press, fueling rumors that Jake's distraction was a personal vice. A tabloid rag ran a blurry photo. Us laughing at a sponsor barbecue, arms slung casual, captioned Harlan's pit secret. Big Harlan doubled down, forcing Jake into media training sessions laced with lectures on image. This sport's for real men, son. Not whatever this is. Jake came home, well, to our shared motel bunk, shaken, punching the wall until knuckles split. One night, after a brutal sim session where he pitted imaginary wrecks, he broke. He's right. I'm throwing it all away. For what? Stolen kisses? It can't come out, Alex. Not with the playoffs looming. Not with Dad's legacy. Betrayal sliced deep, sharper than the crash. So that's it? We were a phase. My voice cracked, echoing the boy who'd learned to love in silence. He grabbed my shirt, pulling me close, desperation in his grip. No, God, no. I just need time. But time was the enemy, ticking down to Fontana, where scouts from the big leagues would watch. I nodded, swallowing glass, but inside, doubt revved like a cold start. Would love outrun fear, or would it spin out? The climax built at Darlington, that egg-shaped inferno in South Carolina known as the Lady in Black for how it bites back. Qualifying was a dogfight. Jake snagged pole, but tension hummed thicker than the humidity. Taylor showed up trackside, arm in arm with a rival crew guy, her glare a heat-seeking missile. During the race, chaos erupted on lap 187. A chain reaction shunt in turn 2, cars accordioning like tin cans. Jake dove low, but a lapped spinner clipped him, sending him hard into the wall. Alex, I can't hold it, his radio screamed, panic raw. I was in the booth, heart in throat, barking angles through the smoke. Brake now, lift, lift. You've got daylight high. He threaded the needle, emerging third, but the close call cracked something. Post-race, under the sodium lights of Victory Lane. No win, but a podium. He pulled me aside behind the hauler, sweat slick and shaking. That was it. Facing death. I choose you. All in. But as confetti rained and cameras flashed, Big Harlan cornered us, face purple. I saw that look, boy. End it or you're done. No son of mine parades like that. Jake's fist clenched, the air electric with standoff. Dad, I'm gay. Or bi, whatever. And Alex is mine. Deal with it. The old man recoiled like he'd been slapped, eyes bulging. You'll ruin us. The Harlan name. Jake stepped forward, voice steel. The Harlan name is about heart, not hiding. You taught me that. Silence stretched, taut as a toe strap, until Big Harlan deflated, wheeling away on his prosthetic, muttering defeat. Darlington's dust settled, but the ripples spread like oil on water, slick and inescapable. Jake's coming out wasn't a press conference. No, that'd be too Hollywood for our gritty circuit. It was quieter, humanistic in its raw edges. A team meeting the next dawn, coffee bitter as confessions, where he stood under the fluorescent buzz and said, "Y'all, Alex and I, we're together. For real. If that's a problem, there's the door." Crickets, then nods, old-timers grunting approval, young guns clapping shoulders. Taylor? She packed her bags that week, but not before a tearful apology over lukewarm sweet tea in the diner. I saw it coming, but it hurt like hell. Be good to him, Alex. He deserves that. Big Harlan stewed for days. Radio silence broken only by gruff texts. Tune up at 0800. Don't be late. Reconciliation came slow, over beers at a roadside bar near the track, jukebox crooning Johnny Cash. I was wrong, son, he admitted, voice gravel from smokes and regrets. Loved your mama fierce. She'd have hooped me for this. Just protect your line. Jake hugged him awkward, man to man, and I watched from the shadows, chest loosening like a freed choke. With the closet door ajar, our romance bloomed. American as apple pie with a twist of lime. Weekends off, we'd hit the Blue Ridge Parkway, top down on the F-150, wind whipping as we chased horizons. One crisp fall morning, leaves aflame in reds and golds, we pulled over at a misty overlook, the valley sprawling like God's own sketch. Jake spread a blanket, stolen from the hauler, threadbare but ours, and unpacked PB&JS, the kind with too much jelly, just how I liked. Corny, right? He grinned, feeding me a bite, thumb swiping jam from my lip. Corny's your middle name, Harlan. I laughed, pulling him down, our bodies tangling lazy under the sun. Kisses deepened, hands roaming with permission now, no fear, just fire. We talked dreams. Him in the Cup Series, me spotting from the big booth, maybe adopting a rescue pup to chew our boots. Family, he murmured against my neck, voice thick. Real one. But suspense shadowed our idyll, dramatic as a late caution flag. Whispers turned to threats when a rival team, those pricks from the 22 outfit, backed by old money tobacco lords, caught wind. Anonymous emails flooded Jake's inbox. Ferry racer? Sponsors'll drop you like a bad tire. Then came the sabotage. Loose lug nuts during pre-race inspection at Martinsville. A near miss that had Jake fishtailing into the pits. They're playing dirty? I fumed, wrench in hand, tightening bolts myself. Jake's jaw set, eyes steel. Let M. Will outrun hate. The betrayal cut deepest from within, though. During Kansas Speedway prep, I overheard Big Harlan on the phone in the hauler. Voice low. Yeah, it's handled. Kid's distracted. We'll phase him out after playoffs. Image is everything. My blood froze. Phase out Jake? His own father, trading legacy for optics? I confronted him that night, rain lashing the motel windows like accusations. How could you? After everything. He leaned on his cane, face ashen. It's business, Alex. The boy's talent's wasted if he's the poster child for that lifestyle. Sponsors called. They're pulling if he doesn't clean up. Clean up. Like love was a spill to mop. Jake walked in mid-rant, piecing it together from our faces. Dad? You. The old man crumbled, excuses tumbling. I did it for you, son. For the family. Jake's laugh was hollow, shattering. Family? This is betrayal pure. He stormed out into the storm, me chasing, thunder rumbling our fury. We drove aimless, wipers slapping, until he pulled over on a county road, shoulders shaking. He doesn't get it. You're my family now. I held him as sobs racked, rain mingling with tears on the dashboard. We'll make our own line, I vowed, kissing his temple. No more hiding. That vulnerability bonded us deeper, emotions raw as exposed wire. Romance forged in fire, humanistic in its plea for acceptance. Climax revved at Phoenix, the desert oval under harvest moon glow. Jake qualified top 5, but sabotage escalated. Tampered fuel line, engine sputtering mid-lap. Alex, it's dying, he radioed, voice-edged panic. I vectored him to pits, crew swarming like bees. Inspection revealed sabotage, fine-cut debris clogging the filter, deliberate. NASCAR officials swarmed, pointing fingers at the 22 crew, but proof was thin as smoke. Race night, tension crackled like static. Jake started aggressive, slicing through the pack, me feeding flawless spots. Doors open, mate. Go low. Laps blurred, cautions flying, until the final stage. Green-white checker finish, field bunched tight. A 22 driver, that smug bastard Riley, bumped Jake hard into 3, payback for Darlington. Watch your line, I yelled, but it was war. Jake held, retaliating with a door slam that sent Riley spinning. Coming to the white, it was Jake versus the leader, inches apart, exhaust howling. You've got him. My voice cracked over the airwaves. He dove inside, tires kissing the apron, and held by a nose. Checkered flag waved, crowd roaring, and in victory lane, under blinding lights, he yanked me from the booth, kissing me fierce, unapologetic. Cameras captured it all, the world watching our shock and awe. But as confetti swirled, Riley's crew chief cornered Big Harlan. Call off your ferry, or we escalate. The old man, redeemed in the chaos, swung his cane. Crack, sending the guy sprawling. Touch my boys, and you'll eat gravel. Laughter erupted, tension breaking like dawn. Phoenix's triumph was a double-edged sword. Glory etched in headlines, but backlash revved like a blown engine. Harlan's homo happy ending? Blared a sleazy blog, fans divided. Rainbow flags waving in the stands, slurs spray-painted on haulers. Sponsors wavered. One pulled, but 2 new ones jumped. Progressive brands touting love in the fast lane. Jake fielded interviews with that Harlan grit, arm around me casual as a spotter's call. Alex is my rock. Deal with it or change the channel. Our romance deepened amid the storm, emotional layers peeling like paint on a weathered barn. Quiet evenings in our new off-season rental. A shotgun house in Mooresville, with creaky porch swing and a yard for that pup we'd named Scout. We built rituals. Mornings. Coffee black as midnight runs. Him sketching chassis mods while I planned sim sessions. Afternoons. Trail runs through pine thickets, sweat-slick races ending in tackles and laughter. Bodies pressing with intent but restraint. Affection in the arch of a back. The graze of teeth on collarbone. One drizzly December eve, Christmas lights twinkling premature on Main Street, we drove to the old trailer park, roots calling. Snow flurried rare and soft, blanketing the ruts where we'd raced big wheels. Jake killed the engine, steam rising from hood. This is where it started, he said, voice soft. You and me against the world. I nodded, throat tight. And now, we're winning. He turned, eyes reflecting dashboard glow, and pulled a small box from his jacket. Velvet, unassuming. Not a proposal. Not yet, but a promise. Inside, 2 silver rings, etched with checkered patterns, simple as our start. Wear it when you're ready, means forever lapse. Tears pricked. I slid mine on, cool band warming to skin. Forever. Our kiss was seal and sacrament. Slow burn under falling flakes. Humanistic poetry in metal and motion. Suspense peaked with the off-season scandals. Riley's team sued for unsportsmanlike conduct, dragging Jake's name through mud, alleging favoritism from officials soft on sin. Big Harlan testified, cane thumping the stand like punctuation. My boy's clean. Yours are the cheats. The case dragged, stress etching lines on Jake's face. But we leaned in. Therapy sessions in a strip mall office. Unpacking closets long shut. I feared losing you to this life, he confessed one night, head in lap as rain pattered tin roof. But it's richer with you. Betrayal's echo lingered when Taylor resurfaced. Not vengeful, but vulnerable. She showed at our door New Year's, bottle of bourbon in hand, eyes red-rimmed. I got played too, she admitted over the kitchen table, story spilling. Riley's crew had used her as pawn, feeding intel on Jake's weakness. I was blind, hurt, but seeing you too. It's real. Forgive. Jake hugged her first, me following. A triad of healing, humanity and forgiveness, no villains, just flawed turns. Spring training at Daytona loomed, high-stakes audition for Cup promotion. Jake pushed limits, laps blurring sub 30 seconds, but doubt crept. A spin in quals, confidence cracking. What if I'm not enough? He whispered post-session, gear steaming in the Florida sun. I knelt, helmet to helmet. You're everything. We draft together. The real gut punch came mid-March, during a media scrum at the Rolex 24 endurance test for our medal. A reporter, slime from that tabloid, cornered us. Jake, rumors of a split? Sources say Alex is controlling your career. Jake bristled, but I stepped up, voice steady. Love doesn't control. It co-drives. Flashbulbs popped, but later, alone in the motorhome, he unraveled. They're poisoning it. Us. I held him through the night, heart aching with the weight of worlds colliding. Romance's fragility under spotlights. Then we shield it. Private tracks, public fronts. But inside, fear revved. Could we sustain? Climax ignited at the Great American Race. Daytona 500 mecca of our madness. The field was stacked, 40 cars hungry. Super speed drafting a ballet of bumpers. Jake started mid-pack, me in the skybox, monitors a mosaic of mayhem. Early cautions bunched us, alliances forming, push or shove. On lap 120, the big one erupted. 15 cars out in turn 4, debris like shrapnel. Jake threaded through, but Riley hooked him deliberate, sending the 47 fishtailing. Hold the wheel, I screamed, veins ice. He corrected, barely emerging last among leaders. Final laps. Green pack thundering. Jake latched to a Ford train, slingshotting high. Now go, go! My call, his thrust. They tangled at the line, Jake inside, Riley door to door. Contact sparked, metal kissing, but Jake powered through, nose ahead as checkers flew. Victory! The stands erupted. Confetti apocalypse. In the scrum, he vaulted the fence, finding me in the chaos, lifting me off feet in a spin. We did it. But as the anthem played, Riley approached, face twisted. Not hate, but hollow. Congrats. But this war? It's killing us all. Handshake tentative. A truce born of exhaustion. Human arc bending toward grace. Daytona's crown was bittersweet nectar. Sweet triumph. Bitter the scars it exposed. Jake's win catapults us to Cup contracts. Haulers upgraded, but fame's glare amplified cracks. Paparazzi camped our Mooresville driveway, drones buzzing like hornets. Fan mail mixed rainbows with hate-scrawled epithets. Fags don't belong. One read, postmarked Atlanta. Jake burned it in the sink, flames dancing in his eyes. Fuel for the fire, he quipped, but I saw the flinch. Our love, though, was ballast, romantic anchor in turbulent seas. Summer circuits became stolen symphonies. Post-race dinners at dive bars, sharing fries under neon buzz, his boot hooked round my ankle under tables. One July night in Sonoma, wine country's curves mirroring our path, we escaped to a hillside vineyard, stars a canopy over tart Zinfandel. To us, he toasted, glasses clinking. Laughter flowed easy, stories of youth. His first crush on the lifeguard, boy surprise. My hidden sketches of him in high school margins. As crickets chorused, he grew solemn. Alex, that promise ring? Make it real. On one knee in the dirt, box reopening. Now with a band of gold, checkered inlay winking. Marry me? Not for show. For us. Tears blurred. Yes tumbled out, kiss ceiling under meteor streak. Cosmic yes. Wedding planning wove through fall races, humanistic tapestry of chosen family. Big Harlan walked Jake down the aisle. Simple ceremony at Lake Norman Chapel, wildflowers and wranglers, Taylor as witness, beaming. Vows echoed our track lingo. I'll spot you through every corner. Love you past the checkers. Rings exchanged, simple bands now diamond-flecked, and as we kissed to cheers, the world felt aligned. But drama's draft pulled one last shunt. Off-season, Riley resurfaced, not foe, but fallen. A DUI bust, team drop, spiraling into bottle and regret. He called Jake collect from a county jail, voice slurry. I was wrong, jealous, lost my way. Jake visited me in tow, chain link between. Hate's a dead end, man, Jake said, grip firm through bars. Find your line. Riley nodded, tears carving tracks. Redemption's first lap, sparked by our light. Humanism peaked in the wake. Jake founding a foundation, Open Lane Alliance, for queer youth in motorsports, scholarships, and safe spaces. Big Harlan donated his old trophies, gruff pride shining. Family evolves. He told me over Thanksgiving turkey, prosthetic kicked under table. Like the sport. Years blurred laps. Cup championships for Jake, me ascending to lead spotter, our home expanding, Scout the pup. Then twins adopted from foster fray, little racers in diapers. Betrayals faded to footnotes, conflicts to cautions learned. One evening, rockers creaking on the porch, grandkids, ours by love's extension. Chasing fireflies, Jake squeezed my hand. Shocked yet, I grinned, leaning into his shoulder, sunset gilding the yard. Every day, but the best kind. Our story, no fairy tale finish, but a humanistic haul. Love's race run not to wreck, but to win, together, under American skies vast as hope. Epilogue whispers. At Talladega twilight, decades on, Jake retired, me gray at temples. We walk the track hand in hand. One more lap, he teases. I pull him close, kiss lingering as engines fade. Always,